はい。
こんばんは。
Good evening.
Welcome.
東京ソングセレブレーション、今日は、第6回目でございます。
第6回。
あ、ちょっと、
Number 6? Number 6?
ちょっとごめんなさい。テクニカルディフィカルティのやつでちょっと。
あ、そう。
はい、
OK, OK.
こっちです。
OK.
Now back to the regular position. On the screen. On the screen.
OK, OK, OK.
はい。ベネット・クロダ賞でございます。こんばんは。
でございます。
ございます。
Hey, hey. We got Daisuke Kuroda. We got Sam Bennett. We're here with y'all. We got, once again, Tokyo Song Celebration edition of the Bennett-Kuroda Show. Those of you who are regular viewers will know that means we have a special guest who we just interviewed a few days ago. And we put that interview together for you tonight to enjoy with our special guest. Who is it, Daisuke?
ジェフ・カリーでございます。
Jeff Curry. Curry.
カレーです。
You know what's funny, man? Tonight, man, I made curry tonight.
あ、そうなの?
Yeah, I made curry. I made, my special curry. And I guess it was in honor of Jeff Curry.
なるほど。
Yeah.
いや、今回ね、6回目の、東京ソングセレブレーション、ゲストはね、ジェフ・カリーさんということで、ずっとジェフとはね、日本に帰ってきてからもう長いことね、一緒に演奏とかね、やってまして、まあ主にジャズ系のなんかセッションとかのなんか演奏が多かったかなと思うんですが、まあ J-POP のなんかサポートかなんかでね、一緒にステージやったこともありますし、最近ではね、IZMATIK というプログレメタルバンドのジェフのね、ジェフのリーダーバンド、それずっとここ何年かねやってきてますね。
Cool. Yeah, man. He's got his progressive metal thing going. He's got his jazz thing going. You guys have done all kind of stuff together, man. And I've done a little bit with Jeff here and there. And I tonight I've got a special sound logo for IZMATIK.
Oh,
sound logo. Yes, special sound logo. I think as soon as Jeff hears it, he's going to want to use it like always. So it's going to be like this, like IZMATIK, Jeff Curry and IZMATIK. Right?
wow.
Hey.
いいね。
Oh, yeah. And I'm not going to even charge him much money for that. I won't charge him too much, man.
So that means actually you're gonna charge it.
Oh, yeah, I will charge him for that. Yeah. But not too much. Not too much, Jeff. I love you, man. You know, Jeff and I are both from kind of down south in the United States. I'm from deeper south, from Alabama.
サムさんはアラバマ州。
アラバマ州出身。
はい、出身。ジェフさんは
West Virginia。
ウエストバージニア州出身ですね。
そう。なんかね、日本人はよく知っている曲あるでしょ。
そう。
Almost Heaven。
Almost Heaven。
West Virginia。Blue Ridge Mountain。Shenandoah River。
まさにカントリーロードのあの曲。
カントリーロードです。あれはね。カントリーロード。Yeah.
あれはウエストバージニア州の曲ですよね。
That's right.
ジェフさんがコメントいただきまして。
Hey, Jeff.
How much? ということで。
Yeah, how much? Jeff, we'll talk about that later. We'll talk about that later.
ビジネストークは後でするよということで。
いや、後でね。Yeah.
それなんていう楽器なの？
この楽器はベトナムのダンモイという。
ダンモイ。
そう、ダンモイ。古琴ですよね。古琴。日本語で古琴。
国金。
そう、英語でジュースハープ、 jaw harp。日本語で大体抗菌。例えば、アイヌさんたち。
アイヌ、はいはいはい、北海道のね。
北海道のアイヌさんたちは、ちょっと抗菌がある。だけど、ストリングがある。トンコンコンコンコンコンコン。これはちょっと違うね。だけど、同じアイディア。
なるほど。へえ、すごいロボットボイスみたい。
Yeah. Yeah, IZMATIK's new sound logo.
Whatever we make a video, IZMATIK video, the intro and outro will be
absolutely. It's got to be that. Gotta be that. You can run it through distortion and phase shifting and blame shifting and any kind of shifting you want to do. It's going to be great. Yeah. So tonight, man, Jeff is here. Well, he's not here. He was, here with us on Zoom recently. But we got the interview with Jeff coming up tonight, and I mean, I think the interview pretty much speaks for itself. We cover a lot of the stuff that Jeff has done in his life as a musician, and he's doing now. He's continuing.
そうね。
But Daisuke, you have been working in just the last 2-3 days a lot, right, with Jeff?
Yes. So his leader band called IZMATIK, that's a progressive metal band, right? So we are on recording session right now. We are making new record right now. So 3 or 4 days ago, we recorded drums with Mike Marrington. Amazing drummer.
Oh, he's just forget about it.
Amazing
guys,
drummer.
Just forget about it. So good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then 2 days ago, I guess, we recorded guitar part with Alberto Garcia. So, last night we had a band rehearsal because we're gonna actually play a gig.
Tell us about the gig.
はい。
You got a gig coming up.
はい。ギグはね、on 20th かな ?20th か
20th?
20日、on 20th, at the What the Dickens.What
the Dickens?
はい。
恵比寿
の。
恵比寿。
はい。で、it's kind of private party kind of vibe. Not, regular open の Dickens で、kind of private. でも、you guys can come.
Oh, anybody can come.
Anybody
right?
can come. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So it's a gig.
Yes.
It's public.
Yes.
Well, I guess the state of emergency will be officially ended on that day.
そうです、
right?
そうです。はい。20日までが緊急事態宣言ということで、そう。で、まあ、20日の時点ではまだ緊急事態の、なんていうか、状態だと思うんで、お店としては、まあ、貸し切りライブみたいな感じで。でも、皆さん、全然、来れますんで、もしね、来れそうな方はいらしてください。コメントいただいてますよ。ルーラ・ベネットさん。
ね。ルーラ・ベネット says,
Some your country road is a little
onchi.
音痴音痴って
Is it onchi? Did she say it was onchi?
音痴
Out of tune?
Out of tune かな Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
It was good.
Well, my guitarist says it was good, so that's good enough. God dang.
Also, 漢字でね、口筋だって、口の筋はこれ琴みたいなやつの筋かな。笛かなこれ。ね。口筋、なるほど。
口筋。
で、Lex, peace.
Lex.
As usual.
As usual.
Yes.
Someday he's going to come and say war or something. Or hate or something. But until then, Lex says peace. We like that. We like peace.
そして、
And so, yeah, Ana Vieste is here
はい、
too.
アナさん、こんばんは。
Hey, she says, hey guys. Hey Anna, how you doing? She's got the three. Woo!
Yes,
Rocket.
yes.
Yeah. Lex says, mouth koto. I was thinking that a koto is a bit big for a mouth, but so is a harp. He's right. You know, that's an interesting thing. Yeah, but see, that's the thing. It's funny because they say jaw harp or Jew's harp. That's the word for these kind of things. And of course, a harp is pretty big thing. And a koto too is a pretty big thing. So you don't play a koto with your mouth.
Right, right.
You don't play a harp with your mouth. But this is a jaw harp or a Jew's harp.
Is magic. Jeff Curry, Alberto Garcia, Daisuke Kuroda, Ana Vieste is magic.
Yeah.
それね、実際ね、昨日そのリハーサルで、スタジオでみんなとこう練習してたんですけど、最近ね、アナさんがね、ボーカルエフェクターを持ってくるんですよ。
So Anna's using a vocal effector.
そうなの、最近。She got
So,
it. で、
so is she, what is that? Reverb, distortion, phase shifting, everything?
everything.
Is she doing any blame shifting though? That's the question. Shifting the blame.
なんかね、その、
It's his fault.
パッチ、その、one of her patches,なんか、probably kind of same effect you just did.
Yeah, like a robot voice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Because this is like a vocoder. You know, it's like a vocoder. So you sort of put the voice through it, and it always comes out as one note.
Right,
you know?
right.
So like,
Is magic. I am a robot.
I'm a robot. You know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the original vocoder.
Lula Bennett says, これ日本語ですね。貧乏人の母校だって言ってます。
Bimbo. Poor man's vocoder.
Yeah.
That's true. And you know, these things are cheap. I picked these up at those little ethnic shops, like for example Mugendo. Do you know Mugendo? Okay, there used to be one in Shibuya. There's one in Koenji. I think there's one in Kichijoji.
Oh, okay.
And there's other stores like that too. Mugendo was kind of the first, and so they sell. I think almost anybody in Tokyo has seen Mugendo or some shop like Mugendo because they sell beads and they sell little things from India, and you know, it's all kind of like Asia no yatsu. Yeah. So like
バリのなんかグッズとかも。
Bali, Bali, Thailand,
はい。
Indonesia, India, and so they sell these from Vietnam.
なるほど。
Yeah, they sell them, and they're cheap, man. These things cost like I don't know, not more than 500 yen, 300, 400 yen. I've got so many of them because you know, like they're all different notes, right? And they come in a little tube like that, so you pull on the string and it comes up into the tube, and so you got your own little case for it, you know.
へえ。
Yeah. These things are great. So I've been buying these and playing them for years, man.
へえ。面白い。
Vietnam no Dan Moi.
ダンモイ。
Yeah. As a matter of fact, the video, I've got about more than 100 videos on YouTube, maybe 200 or something. You know.
サンベネットの YouTube チャンネルですね。
So.
Polarity Records かな。
Polarity Records YouTube channel. I've got maybe 200 videos. I've got a lot of Bennett-Kuroda there. I've got a bunch of other stuff. But the video that has gotten the most views is, I'm just playing this. And it's got like 57,000 views or something.
Wow.
You know. Yeah, it's crazy.
Wow.
And I'm just, you know, that kind of thing. And it's got like almost 60,000 views.
Wow.
I don't know why.
へえ。
Anyway.
面白いね。なんでだろうね。
So yeah, I don't know why. why that happened. I think it's somebody put it on their blog or something. So check this out. So suddenly there was like, that's the way this stuff works, right? So yeah, we got Jeff Curry coming up.
Hi.
And you've been working on the new record for the last few days. You were there for the recording of the drums. You were there for recording Alberto Garcia's guitar parts.
そうです。
And then you've been rehearsing the band. My God, these guys are working you too hard, man.
ちょっとね、
Is Jeff Curry paying you enough, man? That's the
大丈夫で
question.
す、大丈夫です、大丈夫です。今日もうちょっと今日とかね結構疲れたよね。
ああ、疲れたでしょう。いやー、
で
大変でしょう。
リハーサルもすごい久しぶりだし、まあ誰かとねこう演奏するってこう同じスタジオでさ一緒にこう演奏するっていうのは久しぶりだし、で、まあもちろんすごい楽しいけどやっぱ、曲が難しいから
難しいでしょ。
ね、そんでねこうメタルでしょ、だから結構
Yeah.
結構ねなんか、
you gotta
intense,
work.
right?
Yeah,
だから
you gotta
も
work.
う、もうフィジカルすごい疲れてるね。
Yeah.
でもすごい
You
楽しか
gotta
った
work.
すごい楽しかったです。はい。
Nice.
楽しみです。ライ
Cool.
ブが。
Well, maybe we should start. Maybe we should start the interview. What do you think, Daisuke?
うん
Yeah.
じゃあ、
Go
最初のビデオちょっとここでご覧いただきたいと思います。ジェフ・カリーです。
Welcome once again to Tokyo Song Celebration edition of the Bennett-Kuroda Show. As you know, we always have a special guest, usually a foreigner residing in Japan, doing music, singer, songwriter, composer, musician. And for tonight's show, we're thoroughly delighted to have one of the finest musicians around, Mr. Jeff Curry. Yay!
Hello, everybody.
Yeah. Jeff,
Thanks, Sam.
by way of brief introduction, because we'll be talking a lot about what Jeff is up to, but by way of brief introduction, Jeff is from the U.S., born in West Virginia, if I'm not mistaken.
That's right.
And is primarily a bass player as an instrumentalist, but is a very, very dedicated composer, songwriter, band leader. The guy's all over the map musically. So we're going to talk with Jeff tonight about a lot of the stuff he's been up to over the years here in Japan and anywhere and everywhere. I'm here with my partner, Daisuke Kuroda, and as it happens, me and Daisuke both have worked a good bit with Mr. Jeff. Now,
Yes.
Daisuke especially has been a regular member of Jeff's progressive metal band, IZMATIK. For how long has that been, Daisuke? How long have you been playing in that with Jeff?
In that band is I think 6 years or something like that, I guess.
That sounds about right. Yeah.
Just guessing.
6 years,
about
yeah.
right.
Yeah.
That's a long collaboration, man.
Yeah. Since I came back to Japan, we met in some random. No. It was Kickback
Kickback Cafe.
Yeah. And that was his event, and then we started to play together. And in that time, he was already doing this progressive metal band project, and it was a band called Ibon Void, かな?
Yeah.
Then I joined the band, and Zach Bond played the drums, and then turned to ISM, and then recently the band named it IZMATIK.
Cool. So the band has gone through some different incarnations, I presume, with different members.
Yeah.
As Daisuke said, started as Eben Void or Eben Void. Is that how you say it?
Ebb and Void, yeah.
Eben Void. Later became ISM,
Ism.
and now IZMATIK.
Right.
Cool. Well, that's the way it goes, man. The bands develop, that even the name changes, But
Yeah, you know, I mean, we could go on about like how that happened, but you know, that's going to be like
yeah,
that's going to be
we'll be here all
2
night.
hours right there. Yeah.
So the main thing I think about that people should know about IZMATIK is that, well, Jeff has been pursuing this line of musical endeavor for a good 6 years, and probably before that as well.
I would say 10, actually.
10. Yeah, a good 10 years sort of going into this kind of progressive metal area. And to me, it's just kind of mind-bogglingly complex stuff, you know. It's really, you know, really just constantly shifting time signatures and you know, just very, very adventurous and very tight sort of melodic, you know, experience. You know, listening to the band is like, whoa, it's like, cha, oh, what's next? Cha, oh, cha, oh, it's like being like assaulted in a really good way. You know?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I enjoy when I listen to music. I want that, you know, like I want that experience sometimes. I mean, of course, sometimes it's cool to just like lay back and just like soak in the tune, and it's like easy breezy or whatever. But yeah, as a listener and a fan of progressive metal, or like even punk rock or stuff, like I love like those left hand turns, and you know what I mean, like whoa, you took me there, I didn't know we were going to go there, you know. So as a fan of music, I really enjoy that, you know.
I hear you.
And I try to do that in my stuff as well, but try to keep it natural. You know what I mean? Like I'm not trying to make art for art's sake. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah, I mean, you're doing what turns you on, which is that's the best that any musician can do, you know.
Yeah.
I know that the current lineup of your band includes Daisuke on guitar, as well as another guitarist, Alberto Garcia. And then, of course, Jeff, you're on bass and composing all the music, and your vocalist is Ana Vieste, right? Vieste. And it seems like you've been using different drummers depending on who's available, and some I think maybe some of your drummers have left the country, and others have been moving in and out.
That's right. Yeah.
The consistency that you've maintained with your two guitarists, I think has been, well, it's resulted in a really, obviously really tight band. On the other hand, you know, you get these subs like on drums, guys that come in learning this stuff in like 5 minutes. It's just, that also blows my mind because it's such complex stuff. And there's just the level of musicianship is so high. I think recently you've been with Daniel Bader on drums.
Yes.
Yeah. Hey, this guy's just a monster. You know, he's a total monster.
Oh, he's one of the most enthusiastic musicians that I've ever met in my life. I mean, this guy, he just goes for it all the time, you know. And I was really lucky to have him on our first EP. He was like, you know, like lapping it up, you know, just like, you know. And it's cool because like I'm a big fan of the band Living Color and the drummer Will Calhoun.
Oh yeah, great drummer.
And I could hear a lot of influence in Daniel's playing. I mean, he's got chops out the wazoo. I mean, that guy can play anything. But I could definitely hear Will Calhoun in his playing, and I said that to him on the recording session. And then we had an exchange about a month ago. And he's like, hey, man, my buddy's about to do a Living Color, you know, cover, you know, and I want you to play bass. And I was like, oh yeah, man, sign me up, dude. You know, because we're both big fans of that kind of groove, you know. So
yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, Daniel, man, he's a monster.
Well, Daisuke, when you've you've been working with Jeff in this kind of music for like the last 6 years. Has it been like especially challenging for you? I think there must be. I would think it's pretty challenging stuff.
Oh yeah. Every time. He's the good thing is he is writing everything, even the guitar riffs. So I can just read a chart basically, and of course I gotta make the riff. It's written, but I gotta make it more the way guitarists probably play, kind of.
Yeah, the execution. It's not just the notes. It's the execution. It's like you really have to think about like, you know, how you're gonna pick it, how you're gonna finger it, and all this stuff. You know.
So that part is fun, but same time it takes a lot of time, and the music is actually really hard. So, but I like it, you know.
Well, Jeff, when you put together these very complex pieces for the band, you know, and like Daisuke says, you've pretty much written out all the parts. Do you usually write on a piano, or do you grab a guitar when you write a guitar part, or how do you do it?
It's whatever. You know, I'm primarily a bass player. You know, like I play guitar, but I can't like play a gig on guitar. You know what I mean? Because like that damn B string is like confuses the hell out of me. But mostly on bass, I would say, and then I would say I don't know, 30% on guitar. Of course, I got my keyboard here, and I pluck around and come up with something that I like. You know, kind of like that. Yeah.
Do you have the ability as a composer to just write out what's in your head without using any instrument? Do you ever do that? Just like, oh, okay, da 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 da, za da da da, za da da. You know, just write it out.
No.
I was wondering about that.
Yeah, I don't have perfect pitch. You know, I do have friends that can do that, and a couple teachers at my university were able to do that. You know, like, and I was blown away by that. But yeah, I don't. I can't do that.
Yeah, I was just wondering. I mean, actually, I just the other night finally caught that Netflix documentary called Quincy on Quincy Jones.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if you guys have seen that, but anyway, highly recommended. But yeah, he was, you know, they showed him in the studio just doing that. He was just like, just writing stuff out on the fly for some horns or something, you know.
Right. Yeah. One of my teachers at UNT could do that, and he would sit there with a full score, and he'd be writing trombone parts. You know what I mean? With no problem. You know, he could hear it.
Wow.
He didn't have to reference anything. You know, I've seen him do it. You know, I mean, just Christ, man. Like, I wish I had that ability. But,
incredible.
You know.
That's really impressive. Really impressive, man.
Yeah.
Well, you mentioned UNT. Let's go a little further back with your musical journey here, and I wanted to ask you, you know, how did you first get inspired to start doing music, and from there, tell us a little bit about your early journey and education and stuff in music.
Oh, okay. I was in fifth grade, and there was a kid in our school who was a damn outcast and weirdo, you know, and I was too, kind of, you know, and yeah, his name is Finn Eichner, by the way, and he plays in a great band called Lips. And they are from New Zealand, and they're really actually pretty successful. You know, I mean, I wouldn't say really successful, but yeah, they're working and they're doing their thing. So anyway, this small town, West Virginia, and I was an outcast and he was an outcast. And then, I don't know, man, like around that time, I started messing around with my mom's acoustic guitar. But I would only play the first 4 strings. And my sister said, "You're a bass player." And at that time, I didn't even know what a bass was. I was like, what the hell is a bass? You know what I mean? So, but I was already into music. I mean, my mom was listening to Motown. My sister was into heavy metal. My middle sister was into hip hop and stuff like that. So we had a lot of cool shit going on in my house.
Nice.
So
and your mom had a guitar. Did she play around the house?
Yeah. I mean, she knew like 4 chords, and like I remember in the summers, man, she would sit out, like this is a big country, dude. So we would sit out like in lawn chairs and she'd be strumming the guitar, drinking some wine, and I'd be out there laying in the yard, just looking at satellites and stars and you know what I mean? So
nice.
Yeah, that's kind of my earliest musical memories. So anyway, basically my big sister convinced me that I was a bass player. Like, and then I passed a note. I remember, I'll never forget it, man. There in 5th grade, I wrote a note to Finn, who was a genius drummer, and he could also play bass and guitar, and I just thought the world of him, man. So I passed him a note, and it just said, "I play bass." And then from there, it was just like, all right, come on over to the house and let's jam.
Cool. Yeah, man.
Yeah. It happened really naturally and organically like that. And then we just started writing together. I mean, of course, we did some cover tunes, like, this was the 90s, early 90s and stuff, so we were, playing like Nirvana and shit like that, Pearl Jam, these kind of things. But we were also composing our own stuff together, and it just kind of took off from there. And then I used to play with this sax player named Al Jeter, wonderful human being. And he's like, UNT, has a great jazz program.
No, wait. Explain to us, what is UNT? Where's that?
The University of North Texas.
Okay.
So, and he's like, if you want to learn like, music theory and like how to jazz, you should go there. So, yeah, man, I signed up, hopped on a flight down there, went through orientation, and I was like, this is cool, man. The big bands are slamming. They sound great. It's a world-class school for jazz. So, and, I applied for in-state tuition and, and the rest is history, man. So
Great.
like,
So in
that
that
school
time,
was killing, man.
in that time, in the university, you already into jazz, or like after you?
Heavily. Yeah. Heavily. Yeah, I was into jazz like when I was 16 years old. So that's when I started playing the wood bass, So like I was totally like head over heels, into jazz at that time.
As a 16-year-old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty early, I think.
It is. Most 16-year-olds, well, it's hard to say most. I mean, there's a lot of teenagers who do get into jazz, but still, mostly it's more of like about rock and everything,
Yeah, I was listening to like Metallica とか.
Yeah, I was into all that stuff, but I hit a brick wall when I was like 16, and I was just like, man, there's got to be something else, So I like burned through all my Kiss records and Led Zeppelin and Jimi Hendrix and, all that stuff that I just totally love and still love today. But I was just like, man, there's got to be something else. And then so I started listening to public radio, man. And then and my ears opened up a lot because there was a program called All That Jazz, and then another one that was really influential was Music from the Heart of Space, which is discontinued, but you can still find that music on YouTube. And it's just all this new age, like super, spacey, synthy music. And so like at the age of 16, that's when I got into that vibe,
Yeah, needed to go somewhere else that was, new frontiers and interesting new sounds and everything. You've got your whole progressive metal thing that you do. And you've got a whole, you've had a whole career playing, jazz on like you say, wood bass. So, electric bass, acoustic bass, bass fiddle. I was just going to mention that I had the good fortune to play with you on occasion with my New Orleans band.
That's right. Yeah.
And you did some subbing for my bass player, and me and Matt Gillen always really enjoyed your joining us, man. It was always so fantastic. And
oh, dude.
Yeah, I mean, I know you love that music too, right? New Orleans music.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just.
Oh, come on, man.
You can't beat it.
Feel good,
Yeah,
feel good.
It's so good.
Even if the lyrics are dark as shit, I mean.
Yeah, right. That's what I like. Dark lyrics with feel good melodies. There's that, and there's actually, we had Jeff, Daisuke and I had Jeff over at the old Fuglen, Asakusa, which we always like to mention. We always like to mention that because that was the birth of Tokyo Song Celebration, So that was nice. It was great to have you, bringing your bass artistry to some of my humble tunes, and
that's a
great time.
Wonderful place. Yeah, wonderful place.
Yeah. So, IZMATIK, your whole sort of jazz thing. What else captivates you musically in terms of what you do? I mean, I think you do a lot of different kind of jazz, right? I mean, you use the jazz standards with people around town, and then
and I'm writing original jazz stuff. Actually, like planning the next record, probably going to hit in October. But and I'm still thinking about the personnel for that. I've got the drummer and piano player lined up, and I'm still thinking about the horn player. But yeah.
So you want to do a kind of quartet album next with your own jazz stuff?
Yeah. But I mean, I've got enough tunes. I'm just like trying to pick out which tune is appropriate. Also, I want to use vibes on the next record, like vibraphone. And I got the perfect player for it, and he's down. I already contacted him, but it's a matter of like choosing the best tunes and which tunes are good for each member. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what we'll do right now. We're going to go to a video. Oh yes.
Good.
We're going to cut to a video. We're going to hear some of the music Jeff has been involved in, some snippets of this, some bits of that, and we'll be back for part 2 of this interview shortly.
gonna run and get my band. We gonna be in high demand. Anytime we lay it down, people come from all around. And the reason plain enough, King Gig baby got the stuff. Jeff Curry! Yeah. Hey. We gonna be in high demand.
Never know how much I love you. Never know how much I care. When you put your arms around me, I get a fever that's so hard to bear. You give me fever. When you kiss me, fever. When you hold me tight, fever in the morning, fever all through the night. Sun lights up the daytime, moon lights up the night. I light up when you call my name. You know I'm gonna treat you right. You give me fever. When you kiss me, fever. When you hold me tight, fever in the morning, fever all through the night. Everybody's got the fever. That is something you all know. Fever isn't such a new thing. Fever started long ago.
talking to Oswald when Oswald says to me, he says, you're living in a fool's paradise, Sam, if you think that you're free. I said, well, I know I'm free next Thursday, 'cause I ain't yet made no plans. He said, come on over to my house then, and I'll show you how to walk on your hands. So when Thursday finally rolled around, I headed over to Oswald's place. I knocked on his door for an hour till he answered with a sad, sad look on his face. He said, Sam, we've had a death in the family, a distant cousin that I never knew. But he left me $10 and a banjo string and an old brown wingtip shoe.
she just came into. We could buy us some wine with that 10. He said, hey man, I'm still grieving. I said, the wine'll surely help with that. He said, all right then, I'm with you, Sam. Let me go get my coat and hat. So we set off walking down the boulevard, making our way to the liquor store.
Hi.
Oi. Yeah, man. There you have it.
パート1でしたね。
Part 1でした。
はい。パート2もありますよね。
Yeah, yeah. We have part 2 coming up.
はい。
We'll be coming up with that shortly. And we get into talking about some other things.
うん。
But yeah, that was those clips that we heard there at the end of the interview were a little more, you know, obviously leaning toward Jeff's jazz personality and
Right.
some things he did with me and some things he did with some other people.
Yeah.
And then in the next half, we'll get we'll show some IZMATIK
うんうんうん。
and talk about some other stuff. Yeah, yeah.
実際自分がサムと最初にこう会ったのもIZMATIKのライブだったんだよね。
Yeah.
Do you remember the first time we met?
Yes.
At the Shinjuku some.
What was that place? What was it? In Kabukicho.
Yes, yes, yes. 歌舞伎町のそうなんか really small
Yeah.
small live
little
house.
rock bar.
Yes,
yeah,
yes,
yeah.
yes.
Yeah, I don't remember the name, but that's where we met.
Yes.
And we met because of Jeff Curry.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn. It's, you know, small world here in Tokyo. But,
Right.
yeah, Jeff, Daisuke, you had a gig with Jeff.
Mm-hmm.
And with Jeff's band.
In that time,
And,
IZMATIK was instrumental band called IZM.
Okay, IZM.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And with Alberto and Simon, the drummer.
Oh,
and
yeah,
Jeff.
Simon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, we were kind of looking for the opening act, but any band cannot make it. And then
Right,
Jeff, you know, Jeff got the one guy performance. He can perform just himself, and
Yeah.
and I was like, oh, who's it? And he said, you know, it's Sam. And do I know him? And no, I don't think so. So that was actually first time to see you playing.
That's right. It's all because of Jeff. And
Yeah.
so I opened for Jeff's band that night, and you guys were there. And I did my, funky little one-string
そう。
solo thing,
そう
man.
3本弦じゃなくて
3本じゃなくて1弦。1弦。1本。one string.
1本弦でねライブを、ね、
I was playing the one string. Here, let me grab it. It's right here.
一人でやってたからね。おジェフがねコメントくださいましてクロウダディだって。
Crawdaddy. Yeah. And Crawdaddy, of course, was the name of a famous rock and roll magazine in the 70s.
あ、そうなの
Yeah, I grew up reading Crawdaddy, man.
へー
I think Crawdaddy might have started in the 60s, but they were going in the 70s, and it was a rock magazine.
なるほど。日本人の私からするとそれ多分ヤングギターとかかな。
Oh, yeah, like that. Yeah, young
ギター
guitar.
マガジン
Yeah.
とか。
Sure.
なるほど。
Yeah, so Crawdaddy, of course, the real meaning of Crawdaddy is like it's like a little lobster. It's like a little
あ、そうなの
ebi, yeah, it's a kind of
伊勢エビみたいなやつ
yeah, ise ebi. It looks like ise ebi, pretty small.
へ
And you catch them in where I grew up down south in Alabama. You had crawdaddies, and some people call it crawdad. Some people say crawdaddy. Some people say crawfish or crayfish. Yeah, crawfish.
じゃあ赤坂のクラフィッシュもじゃあ
So.
same thing?
Yes. Same thing.
へえ、
Same
そうなん
thing.
だ。
Yeah.
へー
So, but crawfish is probably, of course, named after the actual thing because crawfish was named for like a kind of Louisiana music, New Orleans, Southern music. Crawdaddy, the rock bar in Kabukicho, probably came from the rock magazine called Crawdaddy.
そっか、なるほど。
Yeah. So they may not even know that the real meaning of crawdaddy is
Right.
is crawfish. Right?
へえ。
But yeah, right here in Tokyo we have crawfish, we have crawdaddy. It all comes from the South, man. You know, the U.S. Man. The birth of rock and roll, all that kind of stuff.
Let me see.
Yeah.
Let me see your one string.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, one string. So that's when you came to see me, well, you didn't come to see me. You were in the band. But when I opened for Jeff's band, I was playing, this one string guitar.
おー、そうですそうです
And I was singing those songs. And you, Mr. Kuroda, were the only guy in the band who actually sat there and listened to what I was doing. And I know Jeff and Alberto and those other cats, they were all back at the bar, man. They were like, what the hell is this?
Well, maybe Jeff was there, no?
Yeah, he was back
I don't
in the
know.
back.
I don't remember.
Yeah, he was back in the back. Well,
okay.
he might have been out on the street, man. But anyway. Anyway, I do remember you were the guy who was like actually sat there and listened to what I was doing. And that's how we met. Yeah.
いや、
Yeah.
面白かったんですよね。それが一本弦で一本弦ギターっていうもの自体も初めて見たし。
ああ、
でなんか
初めてね。
その時サムさんはねこうエフェクターいっぱい使っててオートワウみたいなファンファンってなってるようなやつとかなんか
そう
ディストーションみたいなやつかけてオクターブとかなんかベースっぽいサウンドにしてなんかやってたりとかして面白くてでなんかなんとなくねその彼が歌ってるメロディーとこのリズムとその一本弦のそのベースっぽいやつでなんとなくこういうコードチェンジのことをやってんだろうなっていうのがこう頭に浮かんできたっていうのが面白くてで、実際そこにはねハーモニーはないっていうかハーモニーがないっていうか音2個しか鳴ってないんでもう1音あればなんていうか、ハーモニーとしてこう成り立つわけなんだけどそうなんかその1個だけ欠けてるっていうのがでちょうど自分の頭の中にその音はこの音かなこんな感じの音かなっていう風にこうなってたっていうのが面白かったんだよねすごくね。
Yeah. There you go. And for those of you who don't understand what he just said, he was basically saying that when he saw me play that show on the one string, he could fill in the blanks in his head with harmonies that he could hear, and he could imagine, this tune could use, a little bit more, and I could do, and I'm the man to do it, and in fact he was, man. So that's how we first hooked up with Bennett-Kuroda. Yeah, it was because of that, and so. He heard my songs. Daisuke heard my songs and thought, these, I dig this, and I want to add something to it. So that's how we came about as a band. And it's thanks to Jeff Curry.
Thank you, Jeff.
Jeff Curry! Go, Jeff!
ね
Yeah, man.
ジェフ
Now
は
look.
さどうぞどうぞ。
Oh, yeah. No, I'm just saying, Lex Miller says, wasn't Crawdaddy that club in London where the Stones played? It's quite possible, Lex.
Oh.
Yeah, it's
So
quite
cool, yeah.
possible that Crawdaddy was the name of a London club as well. I wouldn't be surprised.
じゃあやっぱこう港っぽいエリアではとかやっぱ海の周りのとこではやっぱよく食べるものなんでしょきっと。例えばクラムチャウダーみたいな感じのなんか quite popular kind of
Sure.
food, right?
Sure, sure, sure. And
ガーリック
and,
シュリンプみたいな感じ
yeah, exactly. And down south, you know, gumbo. What they call gumbo.
ガンボ
Gumbo is
Gumbo.
like it's kind of like a stew with shrimp or crawdaddies or fish, or you know anything sausage with vegetables like okra.
はいはいはい
And,
はい
and you kind of make a stew that goes on to rice. So you might get crawdaddies, that kind of you know crustacean like a lobster, you know, in a gumbo.
へえ美味しそうだ
Yeah,
ね
yeah, yeah. Gumbo, 美味しいよ。
ねへえ美味しそ
Yeah, because
う
it's
なん
got a
か
lot
シチュー
of
みたいな感じだね
yeah, it's got a lot of okra in it.
オクラがいっぱい入ってるシチュー
okra
でそのちっちゃい感じのロブスターみたいなやつとかエビとかが入って、こうシチューみたいなスープみたいになってるやつでそれご飯にかけて食べるやつガンボーっていうらしいですね
Gumbo.
サウスは
Yeah, yeah.
アメリカの南の方の
So. Gumbo is very famous, especially in New Orleans, Louisiana. That's why I think Dr. John, the famous piano player from New
Hi,
Orleans,
Dr. John,
had a famous record called Dr. John's Gumbo.
おおなるほど
Because gumbo is just like a stew. It's a mix.
ミックス
You know?
うん
Yeah, yeah,
なるほど
yeah.
ねミックスシチューみたいな感じなんだね
Yeah, yeah.
ジェフはいコメントいただきました I need 3% of royalty for that probably
Yeah, yeah.
the make,
You know-
make us a band kind of
Exactly. 3%. You're gonna get rich. You
So,
won't
yeah.
even believe it. I mean, 3%. You're gonna have a house in Malibu, man. with 3% of our earnings, man.
それは
Forget
や
about
ば
it.
いそれは
Forget
やば
about
い
it. You be a rich man.
ああそれはいいねだったら
Yeah. Malibu, man.
But
you know,
ジェ
No, go
フずっと、まあ、このインタビュービデオのセカンドパートで出てきますけどジェフは北海道にいるんですよね結構
Yeah,
1年のうち半分ぐらいは北海道に過ごしているということで私が毎日こう Vlog やってますけども、2018年2019年の冬は一緒に行ってニセコにで演奏毎日やってたんだけどもう大雪の中ね街に行ってビールが飲みたくてで15分間歩いて大雪の中でビール飲んでまた帰ってきて演奏するみたいな感じのやつをやってました。
Nice life.
楽しかったよもちろん楽しかったです、はい、それでジェフはそのお仕事で、ほとんど北海道にいるんで今ねジェフは東京に戻ってきてますからまあどっちが戻ってんのか分かんないけどねこっちに来てるのかもしれないけど感覚分かんないけど、でライブがねIZMATIKのライブがありましてWhat's the Dickens で20日ですね6月20日プライベートパーティーみたいな感じででも誰でも入れるので、はい、ぜひチェックしてみてください。
Oh, totally. Don't miss it. What the Dickens, June 20, coming up on Sunday.
はい
IZMATIK, you know, they're going to be rocking the house.
間違いない
And anybody that can make it, you ought to make it for sure, man. Yeah. Really tight band, really, you know, full on, in your face.
そうですね
No messing around. These guys bring it.
マイク
Anna's up there.
もうアナわーってなってるしマイクがねまたねすごいんですよこのマイクのドラムがマイク・マリントンのドラムがすごいパワフルでね全然もちろんダニエルもすごい良かったっていうか素晴らしいんだけどマイクはマイクでなんだろうなすごいパワーヒッターな感じなんですよね。
Yeah. The guy's just a monster drummer, man, for sure.
すごいモンスター。
Yeah. I felt really good one night because I was playing with my New Orleans band King Cake Baby at the Dickens, and Mike actually showed up and Yeah, Mike was there, and he listened to a couple of tunes at least. I think he was there for a while.
Oh, cool.
And yeah, and on a break, we started talking, and maybe it was even the first time I met him, but it was maybe the second time. I don't know, but anyway, I knew he was a drummer, and I when it comes to like playing the drums. When I meet like other drummers, I'm usually kind of like a little bit embarrassed, man, because seriously, because like I'm not like Mr. Chops, and I'm not a great drummer. I just kind of do my little thing on the drums, and it's okay. But compared to a lot of these guys like Mike and Daniel Bader, I mean, these guys is like serious drummers, man. I mean, their whole life is the drums, So like, but I was very gratified because Mike was like, oh yeah, man, you were bringing it. You were totally bringing the feel, and it's great, I was like, oh, thanks, man. You might even be lying. I don't know, but thanks.
でもサムのドラムは好きですよ。
Ah, well, thanks, man.
やっぱ
I do my humble best.
ニューオーリンズのやっぱグルーヴがあるじゃない。それって、
Right.
something special と思うけどね。なんか
Yeah, maybe.
なんだっけ、ブグルでしょ確か。
Yeah.
スタイル。
Yeah.
グチャチュチャチュグチャチュみたいなやつ。ブグルって。
That's the stuff that really turns me on, man, on drums. It's like my favorite drumming, so I just have such a good time doing it that, I love it. So, but yeah, man, a guy like Mike, a guy like Daniel Bader, like Simon, like, so many of the drummers that, Jeff has worked with in IZMATIK. These guys are just serious, man. Serious players, man. And I have so much respect for all of them, Not to mention everybody in the band, man.
いつもね、このIZMATIKはさ、なんかレギュラーのドラムの人がいないんで、
いないね。
そう、いつも違うのね。で、今回マイクが、スケジュールが合うということで、でマイクもやりたいってずっと思ってたらしいんだわ、IZMATIKは。でも彼はコロナの前はさ、なんていうの、いっぱいツアーしてるミュージシャンだったから全然スケジュールが合わなくて、でもコロナになってそういうね大きいスタジアムのライブとかなくなっちゃったから多分時間あるんだと思うんだけど、それでもずっとねIZMATIKは彼はやりたいって言ってくれてたらしくて、で今回、レコーディングも参加してくれてるし、今回のライブもそうだし、前回ライブ配信で、やった時もあれは11月だったかな、9月とかだったかな、セプテンバーだ、last September だ多分。we played at the Orpheus studio in Koiwa, and that was a live stream. で、he was there. そう。ここ最近マイクと一緒にIZMATIKはやってますね。
Nice. Well, that's at least one positive result of the Corona situation. Because some of the great musicians like Mike, who without Corona would already be on the road with some big stadium tour.
So so
is not. So he's at home. Okay, let's do this. That's cool, man. Yeah.
もしこれコロナじゃなかったらマイクはもうツアー日本中ドームツアーとかやってると思う。
Yeah. Playing in domes and stadiums and stuff. Yeah, man, it's incredible.
すごいよね。
Yeah. Well, listen, man, maybe we should get into part 2 of the interview. What do you think?
そうですね。はい。ジェフからコメント来てます、サムさん。ちょっとこれ読んでからにしようかな。
Jeff says, your thing is awesome. Oh, thank you, man. I think he was talking about before we were talking about the drumming, my drumming. So, yeah, thanks, Jeff. Love you, man. Love you, dude.
じゃあパート2いきますか。パート2は実際IZMATIKの楽曲のビデオが最初に流れるかな。ミュージックビデオが流れるかなと思います。はい。
Right. We're gonna open with open this second segment with an official video of IZMATIK. It's a song called "Eye in the Sky."
はい、EP でございます。じゃあ、スタートします。
スタートします。
towards a singularity. A technical accuracy.
And we're back.
はい
Once again with Mr. Jeff Curry, bassist, composer, songwriter, man about town.
Stump grinder.
Not only is he a man about town, but he's a man about Hokkaido.
Oh man.
I mean, this guy, he's got, you know, they're going to make him the honorary governor of Hokkaido, man.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. All complaints come to me.
Too many cows. Yeah, now, tell us, Jeff, tell us about, your life in Hokkaido. You actually spend quite a lot of time up there. If that's something you want to get into, we'd like to hear about it.
No, it's cool. Yeah, I spend basically 200 days out of the year
Oh,
wow.
in Hokkaido.
oh,
It's a thing that kind of just happened. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
You know, I won't like name the name of the company or all that stuff that brings me up there. You know, just because I don't want to ruffle any feathers. But yeah, basically, I have a pretty steady gig up there. And yeah, I love Hokkaido, man. Like, seriously love it. It reminds me of West Virginia so much, except, you know, much more snow.
Wow.
And I really dig getting out of Tokyo. Tokyo's wonderful, but, you know, it can grind on you after a while.
Sure.
You know, so.
And you've got a gig up there, a regular gig doing at a hotel or restaurant, right?
It's a restaurant, and then and then we do some outdoor events.
Mm-hmm.
We do some events for the community. We're doing radio. I mean, we're all over the map, man.
And for the education and edification of our viewers, who do you work with up there? What is that project?
The band leader, her name is Yuka Sato. She's a
Yuka Sato.
Vocalist and pianist.
Mm-hmm.
And we were talking about perfect pitch earlier. She's got perfect pitch. It's crazy. But anyway, she's wonderful, man. We're doing well. It's changed this year because of Corona. You know, there's not so many foreign tourists.
Mm-hmm.
So we're basically most of the customers are Japanese. So we're basically doing like a lot of old Inca and J-pop tunes, but kind of arranging them in a jazz way, a jazz-ish way, because mostly I play the wood bass up there. A couple tunes I play electric one, but you know. So yeah, we're just doing that. We're even doing, Aiko, na 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 na.
Hey.
You know, I introduced her to that tune, and I was like, this is a total party tune, and you know, we got to do this for we're doing a beer garden when we go back up, so we're playing outdoors, and like people are going to be like milling around drinking outside. You know, it's like, dude, you gotta do this song. So she learned that tune, you know, with the Dr. John lyrics, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so you know.
Very cool. I mean, yeah, you can't beat that for a party vibe. I mean, it's just the ultimate sort of party vibe, you know.
Yeah. So
Aiko.
Yeah, and I'm just, you know, we're just trying to make a set list and tunes for you know, a wide variety of people. There's lots of Australians there. Unfortunately, because of Corona, the tourism is kind of dwindled down, but there's still a lot of people who work there and live there.
Foreigners.
Who still come, foreigners who come out and hang out, you know, and yeah, I mean, so many people from Malaysia, you know, Taiwan and China, of course, and you know, so like it's a wide variety of people.
Cool.
That we're entertaining, you know.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. Do you find that like for example, the Chinese and Malaysian folks who come to your shows, do you find that they sometimes or often are actually know more like American or British pop hits and stuff than Japanese people do?
Not especially, like maybe sometimes, yeah.
I remember when I was there playing with you guys in Hokkaido, a lot of Asian customers asking requests for Anna Disney.
Yeah.
All the Disney stuff, I think, pretty popular in Asia too. And then they're really familiar Japanese old pop song, right? So, なんかね、J-pop の方が、I guess.
Yeah. For me, like the you know, people not Japanese, non-Japanese Asian customers would actually request J-pop. You know, and the J-pop was like probably something from a movie that was famous in that country. You know what I mean? That kind of vibe, or like of course the Disney stuff, you know, for the kids. But you know,
yeah, that kind of gig, and actually, I'm glad you mentioned Daisuke that you've done that gig with them. You've been up there playing with Jeff and Yuka for like 2, 3, 4 times or something like that.
2 times, yes.
2 times. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I remember you telling me about it and having to dig yourself out of snow that was like, you know, higher than your head. It's like insane, man.
Dude, I don't know why, like, I'm doing this gig for real. I mean, you know, seriously, it's insane. And Daisuke could tell you, man. Right? Daisuke?
Well, it's like, fun, but yeah, it's kind of...
It's just a challenge. I mean, we you know, I mean, I don't know, dude. It's like, it's weird. Like, you know, like I was helping shovel snow off the freaking roof of a building.
Whoa.
Dude, like that's dangerous work, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
you fall down and break your neck,
man. I'm just a musician. Yeah, I'm just a musician. But, you know, I mean, that's what you got to do up there. You know? It's like, I figure it's like, you know, it's like you're playing on the, you know, Siberian Express or something, like, you know, and you get stuck in somewhere. And it's like, well, you got to shovel snow off the fucking roof. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
It's like, hey, dude, I'm just a bass player, but, you know, no.
Well,
you gotta pull your weight.
Speaking of your musical partner up there, Yuka Sato, I would love to have her join us for one of these interview sessions sometime. I hope she might be interested in that.
Oh, she would totally be cool with that, man.
Terrific. She's got a great voice, and obviously, like, you know, she's so talented. You know, great player, and like you say, perfect pitch. She does all I think she's a very skilled arranger, isn't she?
Yeah, actually, yeah, she does all the arranging for that gig. She won't let me touch it for some reason. I don't know.
Just get out and shovel snow, man. I'll do the arrangements.
Yeah. She's like, you're gonna add too many major 7 sharp 11 chords, or it's gonna be too weird. She don't like that, but you know, that's cool, man.
Yeah, that's cool. Mm-hmm. Well, so you've got your Hokkaido thing going. I didn't realize you were up there 200 days a year, man. That's the majority of the year right there.
Yeah, man. Basically, it's weird. I never expected that to happen, you know, but, you know, my whole life, I've always gone where the gig is, you know. So whether, you know, after I left college, you know, I just went on the cruise ship, you know. I did that for about 7 months. And I toured around the United States with a band, Little Jack Melody and his Young Turks from Texas, you know. Did that for a year or two. And then winded up in Japan. And then, you know what I mean? Like the gig, just like the gig is that way. That's where I go because that's, I have to eat. So, you know what I mean? Like, I just try to, you know, survive in the easiest way possible. You know?
Hey, well, man, I mean, you know, it's no mean feat to survive as a musician, and you've done spectacularly as far as I'm concerned.
ジェフにね、I have a question だね、ジェフさんに。まあ、ジェフはね、まあもちろんIZMATIKのプログレッシブメタルバンドの曲も全部書いてますが、その他にもジェフの、まあ、さっきも話も出てきましたけど、ジェフは、ジャズのバンドをやってたりもするし、それの曲も自分で全部書きますし、あとはビッグバンドのアレンジとか曲を書いたりとかもするし、いろんな曲を書くよね。で、歌詞も書くでしょ。リリックスも You write
リリックス。
ね、で、さっきちょっとそのコンポージングのクエスチョンありましたけど、My question is、how'd you get the inspiration from? Or do you have any routine to writing, composing new material?
My rule is every day, even if it's just 10 minutes, every day, spend time at the instrument.
Oh.
Every day, grab the instrument and try to hear something.
So it's actually try to come up something. It's not like practicing. It's trying to.
Well, you know, I mean, I practice technical stuff too. You know, like I mean, technique is I do every day. You know. I'm a very slow learner, so the technique stuff takes years, you know. But as a rule of composing, yeah, I sit at my keyboard, I grab my bass or guitar every day and just mess around. You know, if I have something that sticks, then I either write it down or record it, you know. I also take a lot of voice memos on my phone, you know.
Sing little snippets of melody and stuff like that?
Yeah, I'll sing like, you know, like I think the last one I did was like a Barry sax part, like, oh. You know what I mean? Like, and I'll record that into my phone. Yeah. And then later, like, if it sticks with me, if it haunts me, then I'll do something with it. You dig?
なるほど。
I think that's a good approach, man. And I never quite trust musicians who say, well, I just wait for the moment that inspiration hits, and that's the magic, and I know that's when it, because like what you've said, of course, you know, inspiration might hit while you're walking down the street with your Barry sax part or whatever. But, you know, seriously, but at the same time, like you say about just sitting down with the instrument, even if you don't have any idea in your head or inspiration, you know, you might just sit down with literally nothing in your head and just start, you know, messing around. And I think if you have like you say, 10 minutes a day, whatever it is, but if you kind of just always do that, whether or not you're like inspired, you know, in some sort of magical sense. That's the key to keep the music rolling, you know, out of your brain, you know, out of your heart and all that kind of stuff.
Man, one of the biggest lessons I've learned in my life from doing this was from a drummer. His name was Danny Lewick from Wisconsin, and he was one of my favorite drummers ever to play with, man. He was so wonderful. And he said to me, if you don't constantly work at your craft every day, then you cannot call yourself a musician.
Oh. Yeah, good point.
Yeah, that was his vibe, you know. So so that's what I try. That's why I do what I do, you know.
Yeah. And so, yeah, speaking of vibes, you want to have vibes on your next jazz record. I think that's really interesting. It's not an instrument that a lot of people really gravitate to, you know.
For me, the reason that I started to like jazz was because of the vibraphone.
Gary Barton?
No,
Not Gary
Milt
Burton?
Jackson.
Milt Jackson. More
I
old
love
school.
Gary Burton, but I remember hearing the tune "Whisper Not" with Milt Jackson, and I was like, dude, there's something going on here. And I'm from West Virginia, and Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania is just like a 6-hour drive. So so I got to see Milt Jackson twice before he died up there in Pittsburgh, and I tell you, man, magical.
Oh. Milt Jackson was the guy from the Modern Jazz Quartet, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. There's just not that there hasn't been that many, and there's Lionel Hampton, of course.
Well, yeah, that's like Flying Home, the old, you know, Vanguard.
Yeah.
But I tell you, like, Milt Jackson is probably the most lyrical, fluid. Like, I mean, he's for me the pinnacle of jazz improvisation, playing, phrasing. You know what I mean?
That's high praise, man. That's high praise.
Yeah. So, you know. So yeah, I wanna pay tribute to that on my next jazz adventure.
Cool.
And I know a really good vibes player, so you know, and he's down to do it. So let's try it.
Is that a Japanese musician here in the country, or a foreigner, or what?
Yeah, Japanese guy.
Nice. So you've got your jazz album that you're planning for release maybe later in the fall, and you've got the IZMATIK record, the new IZMATIK record that I know you're working on pretty hard at, like as you mentioned earlier. When is that next IZMATIK record scheduled for release?
I want to hear that too.
Really hoping.
Your band member also wants to know.
Yeah. Well, it's been difficult, dude. You know, like with Corona,
yeah, of course.
Scheduling, with me being in Hokkaido all the time. You know, I know it's a total mess, but you know, we're getting there. We shot really involved video a couple months ago from a live show, and basically I'm waiting for that to get edited and put together. And the guy who's doing that assures me that he'll be done by August.
And so the video is in conjunction with the album? In other words, it's a live album?
Well, no.
No.
I want to use the live footage that was really pro shot and really well done. in conjunction with kind of a lyric video that makes any sense, you know?
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, I'm thinking August, the end of August, we can kind of finalize all that stuff.
All the
You know.
stuff is including our studio album as well, or
Yes.
just okay.
So like I'm trying to bring those two entities
okay.
together,
Together,
if that makes any sense.
Right.
Because because like, you know, basically what we have to do is we're going to replace all the drums. Yeah, he's doing every song again.
Whoa. And is that because of a sound issue with the live recording?
No.
This is not the
basically,
live recording stuff. This is
this is the recording.
Yeah, recording.
Okay. But you have to redo all the
yeah.
drums.
Well, I mean, technically we don't have to, but you know, it would be better if we did, because of more room sounds, more microphone options, you know, things like that.
Yeah.
And then for guitar, Daisuke's rhythm guitar is all done, and it's spotless and wonderful. But you know, we still have to do solos, and you know, and then the other guitar player kind of has to do his parts, and we have to kind of be a little bit more strict about the tone, and a little bit more TBC about you know, just tighten things up. So, you know, it's大変 to make a record.
It's
like
大変。Yeah, definitely 大変。It's 大変ね。Yeah, 大変。it's 大変。
it's 大変, but it's a learning experience for me, man. You know, like when you bolt the screws down and you're like really like trying to make something really great, then just do that. Like, don't worry about how it makes you feel, you know. Forget that. Like, just bite the bullet. Fucking do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, you know, seriously, man, like all the records I've done before have been 1 or 2 day processes. You know, do I want to do this? Like, and being so attention to detail kind of vibe, do I really want to do that? The real Jeff Curry doesn't want to do that, but actually
Will the
inside,
real Jeff Curry please stand up?
but I have to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I have to like take care of these things, and it's going to be messy. it's going to be tie-in for everybody. But you know, dude, like, why not? You know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, an album is an album, and it's kind of like forever, you know, and it's certainly not unheard of or unusual at all for people to spend long amounts of time on certain records, man. I mean, you know, it's not all just gonna be like a jazz session. We'll be there for 4 hours and we got the record, you know. This is just, it's a different kind of thing, man. And I can totally respect when you say, you know, you want it to just be, you know, really perfect with all the dotted the I's and cross the T's, and, you know, just really nail it, because it's your art, you know. The record itself is your art, not just this particular performance. I mean, you know, it's just like, okay, here's the music, and it's in the best form that we can possibly present it. There's a lot to be said for that, man, I think.
Well, dude, for me, it's therapy, man. It's like, you know, like, I've lived kind of a vagabond lifestyle, you know, for so long. And then it's just like, can I make something that is like really concrete and really, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
boom,
Yeah.
there it is. You know what I mean? So like for me, that's where it comes from, man. You know, just make something really, really kick ass and cool. You know what I mean?
Sure.
That you cannot question.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Welcome once again to
はい、
おい
インタビューのパート2でございました。
でございました。
はい
There it is. Jeff Curry.
エアコンがついてこれノイズが入るからね。
ああ、エアコンね、ノイズ。
もう暑いよね。
暑いですね。
暑いですよ。
今夏だよ、夏。
もう夏ですよ。
It's already summer, man.
暑い暑い。
Okay, that's Japanese lesson for all of you out there today.
はい。
Summer.
夏
日本語で in Japanese 夏。
夏です。
夏。
はい。夏は暑いです。
夏は暑い。Summer is hot.
そうです。
Repeat after me. 夏は暑いです。
夏は暑いです。
はい。
で、sometimes
Summer
people
is hot.
sometimes people say 暑は夏いです。
暑は夏いで。That's pretty cute. 暑は夏いですね。
It's a bad joke.
It's a very bad joke. Yeah, yeah. おじさん, it's kind of おじさんギャグ。
はい。
Yeah, yeah.
そう
Yeah, so we want to thank Jeff Curry
はい
for joining us for that interview, and he's one of the people around, y'all. You know, one of the musicians here in this big Tokyo town who's doing something. You know what I mean? Working hard on his music and performing, recording, and that's what we try to bring out here, right, Daisuke? On this show, we
そう
try to feature interesting musicians who are doing interesting music,
そうですね。
and we hope that as soon as you know the live scene really starts going again in Tokyo, that you out there in internet land will come to see some live shows by people like Jeff Curry, people like Daisuke Kuroda, people like all the other people we've had here on Tokyo Song Celebration over the last few months. Right? Gotta support live music, y'all.
そうだね。
Once we're back and rolling with live music, you people come out now. Don't stay home.
楽しみだね。そうまたね、またやりたいよね、ライブね。
Nah.
でこの東京ソングセレブレーションはね、今回またジェフみたいに、そして今までのゲストの方々のように東京に、東京に今ジェフ北海道にいるけど東京の、ミュージシャンでね、こう作曲してたりとか、面白いね、なんか曲作ってるとか、なんかそういうプロジェクトやってる人とかね、そういう人をこうゲストに呼んでインタビューしてっていうのをやってますけども、もともとは浅草フーグレンで毎月やってたライブイベントでね、こうゲスト呼んでってやってたので、今はオンラインバージョンですけどもね。で、来月は
来月は、
はい、
ね、next month は our guest will be a wonderful guitar player and singer and entertainer named Felix Sunnyboy.
フィリックス・サニーボーイさんです。
Yeah,
フィリックスさんは今回出るっていう話も前回アナウンスしてたかもしれないけども、ちょっと
そうですね。
スケジュールがね、
Yeah, schedule was a little different, so we changed it, and we had Jeff tonight instead. But next month we're gonna feature Felix, and Felix just as a short introduction. We won't get too deep into it, but Felix is basically a acoustic guitar player, mostly finger picking style, in a very deep Americana blues background. Yeah.
ブルース となんだろう、ちょっとカントリーっぽい感じのスタイルかな。
そうkind of country blues
でかなりハッピーだよね、彼のミュージックは。
yes
すごい
very
ピースフォーのハッピーのlot of smile でなんか
Yeah.
ね、
yeah
そんな感じの音楽だよね。
absolutely he's kind of a folk musician in that kind of way of just I was sitting on the back porch and I saw the birdies sing and they were singing a song about my girl, whatever. He's got that kind of vibe. He's got the country blues vibe, and he's got and he has a very deep feeling for it and a great understanding of it. And so we'll be featuring him here next month
はい。
on Tokyo Song Celebration. Felix Sonny Boy.
セカンドチューズデーですね。
That's our goal.
はいはい。
Our
今回は
usual
Third
usual
でしたけど、
goal. Yeah, our usual goal is the second Tuesday of the month.
はい。
This month came around, things got a little out of, out of sync, and so we did the third Tuesday. But we'll shoot for the second Tuesday in July with Felix Sonny Boy. And hope you'll tune in for that.
はい。
Yeah, out there in internet land.
はい。また来月もね、2週目火曜日に東京ソングセレブレーションオンラインやっていきたいと思います。で、ゲストは一応予定ではフィリックス・サニーボーイさんというブルースカントリー系のね、シンガーソングライターをお呼びしたいと思っております。で、もう一度アナウンス、IZMATIKのライブがワット・ザ・ディキンスで20日にありますので、もしね来れそうな方は、ぜひぜひ来てくださいってあんまり言いづらいけどねでも気が向いたらぜひ来てください。はい。
Yeah. If you can come on the 20th down to What the Dickens to hear Jeff, who we featured tonight with his progressive metal band IZMATIK, come on down.
Yep.
What the Dickens in Ebisu, June 20, Sunday, June 20. And Daisuke, what time does that start? Do you know?
ね、確か5時とかだった気がする。
5時ぐらい? 5 o'clock?
5とかだったような気がする。
Okay, yeah. So you know how it is these days with Corona, a lot of gigs are starting earlier. So it seems that Jeff's IZMATIK will happen starting around 5 p.m. On Sunday.
5
on Sunday.
で
This coming Sunday.
Before 5に来れば大丈夫です。
Okay.
はい。絶対5時だと思います。はい。
Yeah. Okay, come on down. Music should start around 5. Down at What the Dickens.
はい。
Dickens. So yeah, Daisuke, thank you, man,
Thank
for
you,
another for another evening of the Bennett-Kuroda show, and it's been our pleasure to be here and bringing you some music from Jeff Curry, and we'll be back next month with music from Felix Sonny Boy, and stay tuned for all future developments. Eventually, the weekly Bennett-Kuroda show will be back. Where we just kind of talk amongst ourselves, as it were, and show some of our music, because we do make music, just the two of us. And yeah, we'll be back. So stay tuned. And thanks for joining us.
はい。今日もありがとうございました。また来月。
ありがとうございました。
はい、
来月ね。
お待ちしております。じゃあ、おやすみなさい。Thank you。
おやすみなさい。